Just give it a minute. Okay. Does everybody see me? I am on air live. Do you see me, you guys? Let me know. Give me a thumbs up if you're here with me on Dietitian with the Dietitian. Do you see me? Do you see me? I am on air live. Do you see? Okay. So I'm going to stay with this screen, Jacqueline. So if people write in, you'll let me know. Okay. And if you guys are here, please give the thumbs up because I'm thrilled to be here with you on Dietitian with the Dietitian.
Tell them that if they see a bunch of events, it's the one with live in the
If you see a bunch of events, I apologize. It's the one with the live in red. If you hit that, you will see this broadcast. So let me know by giving me the thumbs up. What is that?
comment.
You have to read the comments because I can't see it.
Go down says yeah.
Oh, boo. Awesome. I'm so glad you're here. Thanks so much. Anybody else here, let me know because I'm thrilled to have you join me in this very exciting and I hope informative live stream. Many people ask me, should I start my day with a swig of apple cider vinegar? Or what about cleansing? I think I need a cleanse. Or what about, I love Tom Brady, so he won't eat eggplants. Neither will I. Should I avoid nightshades? Or what about lectins? Will they cause inflammation? I certainly don't want that. Let me know if you see that. So I'm not going to see the comments. You're going to have to tell me. Okay.
I will, but
okay.
Look in here.
Okay. So thank gosh I have kids, as I thank them all the time. What makes me in a position to be able to discuss this with you? Let me introduce myself to those of you who are new to my channel. My name is Debbie Krivitsky. I've been a registered dietitian for over 30 years. Currently, I'm the director of nutrition at Mass General Hospital's Cardiovascular Disease Prevention Center. I've been featured in national publications such as Harper's Bazaar and Family Circle. I've also appeared in television and consulted with many corporations. I also have a private practice. It gives me my greatest pride and joy to be able to help you to reach your dietary goals by presenting accurate, current, evidence-based nutrition information. Together, we will shop, we will cook, and I will navigate the way. So I will present to you some of my myths, some of the biggest nutrition myths that are presented to me during the course of a day. And many of you may have heard of these. And if there are those that you want me to clear up, definitely write them in the comment box. My daughter is monitoring that for me, and we'll share those as we go along. I'm going to start with cleansing because that happens to be a big one for many, many people. Many people think, oh, I'm having trouble losing weight. I think I better go on a cleanse by not eating for a few days or only eating clear liquids. I really don't recommend that at all. Your body, while technologies change, we're still wired like cavemen. To a caveman who doesn't get food, your metabolic rate, that rate at which you burn calories, is going to slow down. So you're actually going to impede your weight loss goals. Also, we happen to have an incredible body whose machinery is so amazing and intricate and so well designed. And that's why we have both a liver and a kidney and a colon, because they will all do that cleansing for us. So there's no need to rob your body of important nutrients that it does need for this machinery to function by going on any kind of a cleanse. In terms of juices or smoothies, I'm totally not a fan, as you know, unless you have GI issues, which you can't digest the fiber. But otherwise, fiber along with roughage is your friend. When you put a fruit or a vegetable in a blender to make a smoothie, you keep the fiber, but you actually get rid of the cellular structure of that fruit or vegetable, which is called the roughage. And you need it, that bristling, in order to give yourself the healthy bacteria in your gut. So my mantra to you is be the blender. Have the whole fruit, the whole vegetable. If you do need a shake, then do it in the form of a protein shake, like whey, for example. That would be one that you could do.
Someone wrote, Susan McGinnis.
Yep.
She wants to know what apple cider vinegar should I?
I love that question because that's also another big nutrition myth. Apple cider vinegar. Let's talk about it and talk about what it is and why it might have some benefits, and then some concerns that you also should be aware of. So first of all, let's talk about what it is. It's been used for a long time, and it's really been claimed as a sort of like a pixie dust for so many things. But it is not the snake oil. It won't cure everything. Certain things, the studies look good. More research is needed. But let me talk to you first about what it is. It's made both basically from apple juice. So they take apple juice and they add yeast to it. The yeast turns the sugar in that apple juice into an alcohol, which then will turn it into something called acetic acid. We call that fermentation. So it's rich in probiotics. It's also very rich in B vitamins. It's been used. It's thought that it could reduce obesity. It's thought that it could improve blood sugars. It's also thought that it's been good for osteoporosis and so on and so forth. But let me tell you that it doesn't help with weight loss, that those people who had apple cider vinegar did have modest improvements in weight loss, but over time that did not bear fruit. Also with blood sugar control, it is thought that it can help in the short term. It did help. They did a small study and they took a group, they gave them, I think it was a bagel. It was with butter on it, orange juice and something else. And they gave them 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar, and they checked their blood glucose levels or their blood sugar levels 30 minutes and 60 minutes after they ate. And the group that got the apple cider vinegar, their blood sugars actually did improve. Long term, however, that wasn't seen. So mixed results. I think that it might be promising to help in blood sugar. It is not a substitute for diabetes medication. And in another study, it was thought that it delayed the rate of food emptying of the stomach, which if you're on blood sugar, that would mess up your knowing how to dose insulin or diabetes medications. So I'd be mindful of that if that's something that you think that you might want to try. It also can lower potassium levels, and that is important for the way your muscles work and also for blood pressure control. So any heart patients out there, I don't think I'd recommend apple cider vinegar. It also is very acidic, apple cider vinegar. It's because of the acid. And so I wouldn't drink it straight. It can erode the enamel on your teeth. So if you are going to do it, the general is about 1 to 2 tablespoons. I would mix it with water. I would take it with meals or maybe at night before you go to bed. And also, it can exacerbate acid reflux because it's an acid. Lastly, if you have chronic kidney disease, the kidneys may not be able to process all that acid. So I don't know. If you like the taste of vinegar, go ahead. It is thought that it can reduce any potential salmonella on salads and some vegetables. So if you love the taste of it, go ahead. But if not, I don't think I'd start using apple cider vinegar as a cure-all. I hope that helps, Susan. Let me know, or let me know if you have any follow-up questions on that. If not, let's move on to
Rosemary Dorn says good
Yeah.
information.
Oh, thank you. Good. And welcome to Dishing with the Dietitian, Rosemary. I'm so glad that you're here. This is awesome. I love that I have people here because as I always say, that the beauty of a live stream is to have people on the live stream, because you guys with your questions definitely enrich discussion, and the questions are terrific. Nightshades. All right. My son thinks that the greatest living American is Tom Brady. I think he's amazing as a football player. I think he's also a great role model. But let's take a look at some of the things that he's been a proponent of, and maybe they work for him. It's important to keep in mind that we genetically are all individual. So what might be something that you can eat, the person next to you might get an upset stomach from eating the exact same food. So let's look at nightshades. What are they and what do they mean? Nightshades, they're all over the internet, and they're thought that they can either contribute or worsen inflammatory conditions such as irritable bowel or irritable bowel disease, arthritis, even osteoporosis. What are nightshades? and what are the vegetables that contain nightshades? They're vegetables that fall under a group called solanum. And the idea is that they have alkaloids in them that are thought to be dangerous. Now, they've been consumed for thousands of years without any issue that we know of, but they're in things like potatoes, tomatoes, eggplant, sweet bell pepper, hot peppers, and some spices such as chili pepper, cayenne pepper. Let me know if you're eating any of these and if maybe you think you're having any issues or you're eating these and you're doing just fine. But just know that even when you look at something and you're Googling on the web, the beauty of the web is everything's out there. The downside of the web is that everything's out there. So that is just why we're doing this YouTube, is to provide accurate evidence-based nutrition information that's based on good science. Because just because there's a lot of studies doesn't mean that any of them are good. You're looking for numbers, you're looking for statistical significance, you're looking for controls, and so on. So it really makes a difference what you're looking at. The alkaloid is called solanine, and it's thought to be a defense mechanism in plants against insects. And the thinking is if you eat them, that they'll cause GI issues for us. And let me tell you that I can't say that it necessarily does, but we're all individual. So make sure that you know if this is something you think is bothering you, maybe try cutting it down, or by understanding that if you can take certain steps, you might be able to diminish the alkaloids. The alkaloids are also found, by the way, in cocoa, in coffee, in tea, black pepper, and honey. And they're also thought to have antioxidant benefits and cancer protective. So while some people, it's hard for them to digest it and causes inflammation, in others, actually, these foods have a lot of great health benefits for these nightshades. Potatoes, for example, it varies among different potatoes and where they were grown. And it's thought that where most of the protection for the potato comes in the skin, that's where, in the sprouted part, that's where you're going to find the most nightshades. So if you think nightshades are an issue for you, simply by peeling the potato and scooping off any of the sprouted parts that you see on the potato, you'll diminish the nightshades. Also, when you take a look, the FDA has very strict guidelines when it comes to these foods. So for potatoes, for example, you can have no more than 200 milligrams of this certain alkaloid, micrograms per gram of a certain alkaloid in potatoes by FDA rule. Most potatoes, however, average 25 to 75 micrograms per gram of these alkaloids. So it shouldn't be a problem anyway for potatoes. So go ahead and have the potato. If you bake this potato, you will deactivate most of those nightshades anyway. So if you skin it, if you bake it, the longer you bake it, the more deactivated you'll get. So if you're concerned, bake your potato in the oven where it'll take you about an hour to bake versus doing it in the microwave. But frankly, for me, and let me know how it is for you, I bake my potato in the microwave because I just don't always have time to wait the hour, and it doesn't have a problem at all. And when you cook it, like when you take tomatoes and you cook it, you turn it into tomato sauce, it shouldn't be a problem. And many of these foods are very rich in nutrients such as lycopene in the tomatoes, and vitamin C in bell peppers is the second most concentrated source of vitamin C. So keep an eye on what foods you think are bothering you, but I don't think I would eliminate nightshades unless you think that they are an issue for you. If you're concerned about arthritis, I would watch more things like processed meats, like sausage and bacon and hot dogs, and foods that have had their fiber removed, like white bread and white pasta, and sugar and candy and regular sodas. That's where I would watch in terms of instead of the nightshades. Let me know if that made sense to you and if that's helping to clear things up. There's also something called lectins that people have been asking me about. So I also wanted to, many of the foods that are rich in nightshades are also rich in something called lectin. Lectin is a protein that's bound to the carbohydrate in many fruits and vegetables. And some people have a hard time digesting these. So I want to make sure that I I tell you about some of the benefits as well as some of the issues. Let me know if you're having these. They're found in foods, again, that have been around forever, for the millennium. Things like beans, things like wheat and grains, and in some people it's thought that they are going to cause inflammation, but in most people I can tell you that this isn't the case. It's thought that because people are sensitive to digesting it, that they will get inflammation, particularly in those with Crohn's or irritable bowel. But that lectin also can act as an antioxidant, which is protective. Confused? Let me help you clear this up. First of all, when you soak a leptin, they cause disease? I don't think so. When you soak a lectin in water, it's water soluble, so you'll lose a lot of the lectins. A lot of these foods, like beans, we don't eat them raw. We soak them overnight, we cook them, and that deactivates a lot of the lectin. If you cook your food in a Instapot where you're going to cook it quickly, just don't eat the water. Toss the water, and you'll toss away a lot of the lectin that might have been giving you an issue. Again, potatoes, peanuts, we're not eating them raw, so I don't think they should be an issue for you, but let me know if you think that they are. So I don't think it should be a problem. I think that they have many, many benefits. Many people like sprouted wheat or sprouted grains because you're using the baby part of that wheat kernel, and it's thought to be easier to digest. So here's an example. This is a company called Angelic, and they have these sprouted grains that you can get in your market, or you can get this on Amazon. Actually, this is an online store, but let me know if you've seen sprouted wheat or sprouted grain bread, and you've been wondering what is that all about. That's all about the reduction in lectins because they are in the baby form. They're in the baby kernel, so it's thought to be easier to digest. All right, let me know if you have any questions or comments about that. Jacqueline's checking for me. Okay, then I'm going to talk about water because it's such a hot topic. Who would ever think that water could be so confusing? But it seems to be. Many people say, should I buy alkaline water? Let me talk to you now about alkaline, changing the pH of your blood. What does that even mean? Alkalinity, or the pH of it, what?
Is it alkaline?
Alkaline, but we call it alkalinity if it's, so how alkaline a solution is refers to how much hydrogen ions there are in a solution. And so things like when you have it goes on a scale of 0 to 14. When you have a glass of tap water, your pH is 7, neutral, equal. All right. When you go to your stomach or to different parts of your body will have different pHs. It all will impact the function that's required at that part of the body. Told you that our bodies are incredible.
Rosemary has a question. So
Yep.
Ezekiel bread is sprouted grains.
Yes.
It's okay to eat.
It's great to eat, particularly because it's thought to be easier to digest. You get that whole grain kernel. Great question. But it's from the baby kernels. That's why they take it and they sprout it at the baby level. So the lectins are fewer, and it's thought to be easier to digest. So it is a great thing to do. Totally great. And either way, but if you think you're having an issue with digesting whole grains, try sprouted wheat and see if that makes a difference for you. Let me know. Alkaline water. So let's talk about that as well. But I love these questions. Definitely. I want you all, I'm going to keep going, but I want you to feel free. If something's hitting you as to something I've said, feel free to interrupt me because I'm happy to go back. But I just want you to make sure that you know that the pH in your blood stays fiercely protected to do the jobs that it does at that part of the body. And when you have something that's alkaline, it means your pH is going to be above 7. If it's acidic, it's below 7. Refers to the hydrogen ion concentration. Now, when they look at studies, one of the studies they said was that it detoxifies your body, but that's what your liver and your kidneys are for. So I don't think you need alkaline water to do this. It also is thought that it is protective from toxins, but really a lot of toxins survive in alkaline water. So that is totally debunked. It is also thought that it's better for bone health, but it's better for bone health. This might be actually true, is because the way they alkaline the water is they add an alkalizing agent that contains calcium. And guess what calcium's good for? I know, your bones. So you're getting the mineral. That's what's doing it, not necessarily the alkaline of the water. Also, let me tell you that that one study that said that it was good for you was it said that it protected you because, and it was done in a petri dish with a pH of 8.8, but the pH of your stomach is between 1 and 3. So I don't think that for you to get into a pH of 8.8, you'd have to use a lot of alkaline to get you there. So I don't think that that's gonna work for you at all. It's just not true. It was thought that alkaline water can measure hydration, but it actually, the studies weren't using any good measures and basically found no difference. Also want to just tell you how luckily we do have some safeguards when it comes to putting out information that is based on false claims or not good science. That I just want you to know that there was a fellow called Robert Young, and he wrote a book called The pH Miracle. And it was in June of 2017, not that long ago. And he charged people thousands of dollars, to attend his pH Miracle retreat. And because this was on not science at all, he was sent to prison for 4 years. So I just want you to be mindful that people, while they can put things out there, that you really eventually might get caught, and that it's not a good idea to benefit by preying on people's vulnerability, people who just want to be healthy, like you and I, by making false claims and putting bad information out there. Intermittent fasting is another one. Intermittent fasting refers to the fact that you would go a period of time without eating.
Rosemary has a question.
Oh, Rosemary, you're awesome. I'm so happy you're here.
When I check my pH, it is always low. pH, how should I raise it?
So it depends on where you're checking your pH from. So the pH in one part of your body will be different than another. It doesn't mean you have to raise it. Your body fiercely protects your pH within a narrow range. So I don't think you have an issue. Definitely check that with your doctor to see if you do have any kind of issues or concerns, but understand that the pH in your stomach will be different than the pH in another part of your body. It's fiercely regulated to stay within a narrow range to protect you. So you shouldn't be changing the pH of your blood. There's no need to do it. Let me know if that helps. Also, intermittent fasting. But thanks, Rosemary, and all of you who are writing in questions and comments. They're all on our mind. We all want to be healthy. So, and these seem to be hot topics today. That's just why we're addressing them. So I'm hoping that I'm clearing up any confusion. In terms of intermittent fasting, some of the studies looked, so basically at the end of the day, if you're taking more calories than you burn, it's a calorie gain. However, some studies did show some improvement, not in weight loss or weight gain, but in something called your metabolic profile. So whether or not your blood sugars would improve and so on, it did show some benefits. However, when you did a few days of 500 calories or less, or then you ate normal for the next few days, that would be an example of intermittent fasting. And those individuals actually lost lean muscle mass, which is exactly what you don't want to have happen. So if intermittent fasting is something that you do want to try, I suggest you do it at night when you would be sleeping for most of the time anyway. If you don't eat during the day, as I said, your metabolic dial, that rate at which you burn calories, slows down because your body, which is still wired as a caveman who doesn't get food, thinks that you're in a place of semi-starvation or famine. That's why your engine or your metabolic dial, that rate at which you burn calories, is adjustable so you can survive. And when you don't eat, your body thinks you're in a place where foods aren't plentiful anymore. And so the rate at which you burn calories will slow down so you can survive what your body would interpret to be as a sign of semi-starvation or famine. So instead, eat during the day when you have nutrient needs, and then stop eating dinner at 7 or 8 at night and go 10, 12 hours without eating so that you wouldn't eat breakfast till say 8 the next day, and that would be an example of intermittent fasting. See if for you, if this is something you want to try, if this does make a difference. For me, it would, because eating at night. Let me know if it's an issue for you. Eating at night is my tough time. So let me know. People ask me, should I'm going to, I stay away from dairy. I heard the hormones in dairy aren't good for me. And, I'm staying away. I'm going to almond milk instead of cow's milk because of just that reason. Let me clear this up. The nutrients in cow's milk are cardioprotective. They protect your heart. They boost immunity. They actually help with weight management. They definitely are great for bone health. The issue is can be a concern is the hormones, and from the feed to cows. So I would buy my milk organic. Now you got rid of that concern. It's very pricey. If price is gonna forbid you make milk too far out of your reach that's organic, because it can be about $5 for half a gallon, then don't not drink milk. I'd rather you get the milk and just get regular milk. That's what I would prefer. And also yogurt would be a great way to get the same nutrient profile. Almond milk is just made by soaking almonds. The residual liquid looks milky. It has no protein and a gram of protein and a very different nutrient profile. People also ask me, shouldn't I stay away from wheat, whole wheat and grains? I'm going gluten-free. Don't go gluten-free unless you need to go gluten-free, which can be established by a simple test, which will determine whether or not you can't digest the protein in wheat called gluten. But gluten-free foods aren't necessarily healthier. So, and they oftentimes can be more expensive. So I wouldn't go gluten-free unless you needed to go gluten-free, which is confirmed by a test. People ask me, what about mineral water? Mineral water, great vehicle for minerals that you might not get, such as calcium and magnesium. I want you to know that in preparation for this, I tried mineral water. My big problem, let me know if this is one of you, if you are having a challenge with this, is that I happen to love Diet Coke. I'll talk about Diet Coke. Diet Coke, first of all, the artificial sweeteners, which is also in Diet Coke, they're thought to negatively impact your microbiome, these bacteria inside of us. Look to the live stream on microbiome to know what I'm talking about. And unfortunately, it gives me great pain to tell you that the artificial sweeteners will negatively impact that microbiome. In addition, in diet soda, we see a lot of additives such as phosphorus. Phosphorus, you're going to see, since we eat so many processed foods, if you're taking a look at ingredient lists in foods, you'll see phospho this, phospho that, that's phosphorus. We tend to eat a lot of phosphorus. We eat a lot of processed foods. We don't eat a lot of calcium, not a lot of dairy, partly because of the fear about including dairy. Phosphorus and calcium need to be absorbed in a 1-to-1 ratio. If you're having a lot of phosphorus and not calcium, that calcium has to come from someplace. It'll come from your bones, and you're going to negatively impact risk. You're going to increase risk for sudden death from heart disease as well as for kidney disease. So the idea is less is more. We know what sugar does. Diet soda at least is sugar-free. So you can include diet soda. If you cut it out, even better. But limit it if it's something you must have. The stress will get you just as much as anything else. Just make sure you limit it to no more than 1 or 2 a day. Certainly don't drink the liter. Also, I don't know if any of you have tried mineral water. This is an example of a mineral water I just got at CVS. It's called Topo Chico. You can see it's almost empty because it's delicious. I think it has a very different taste. It's a great substitute. I think this would be a great way to break the diet soda habit. Any of you haven't tried mineral water, I highly suggest it. Some people say, well, what about the sodium? Sodium is really low. It's only, I can tell you, it's 10 milligrams in this entire bottle. So that is really low. 140 is low sodium. Actually, I'm just trying to see. Servings in this is 2.5. So you're going to get 25 milligrams of sodium, still ridiculously low. Don't worry about the sodium. But do understand that you are going to get some great minerals, and the taste is delicious. Let me know if any of you have tried mineral water, or if you're drinking diet soda. I suggest you give it a try. I think I finally found a way that I might be able to break my diet soda habit. Let me know what you think. All right, everybody. Is there anything else that you think that you have a question of in terms of, I'm hoping to debunk nutrition myths? Cashew nuts. People ask me about cashew nuts. Somebody wrote to me very concerned why I could recommend including all nuts, since cashew nuts, this person wrote, are known to cause inflammation. The studies do not support that cashew nuts cause inflammation, but we're all a little we're genetically different. So if maybe in this person they're having inflammation or difficulty digesting cashew nuts, well, then that's an issue that will be just pertain to them. But most of us have no problem digesting cashew nuts. Different nuts have different oils in them that give you different benefits, and nuts come along that great package of fiber. Fiber is your friend. So the bottom line is, include a variety of foods in moderation. If something is giving you an issue, start to see if you can cut back the amounts, maybe change your method of preparation of these foods, but don't necessarily cut a food out unless you think you have to, because there are great benefits with these foods, particularly foods like grains and beans that have been around for centuries and have been known to provide great health benefits to protect you against all chronic disease.
Rosemary said, I heard cashew nuts were a bean.
Cashew nuts are a bean. I have heard that. I'd have to research that to see, but I also count them as a nut. They're shaped like a bean, but I'm not sure that they are a bean. I'd have to look that up. Frankly, I don't know off the top of my head. But your questions are amazing, and I'm loving them, Rosemary. Thank you, as well as to any of you who are writing in. Some of these that I've heard, the lectins, the sprouted grains, they're all coming from patients, and that's why I wanted to give you a live stream to be able to address these concerns and questions, to make sure that you get your questions answered. All right. If there's no other questions, and I'll keep taking a look for a few minutes as I always do, then I want to thank you all for joining me on this live stream. I hope I've debunked some nutrition myths for all of you. And if you have any more, definitely write them in the comments page. And if you've enjoyed this live stream, if it's helped you, give me the thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to my channel, as that will allow me to continue to provide you with current evidence-based information. YouTube is requiring me to do this with a laptop. It will make it much easier when I get to 1,000 subscribers. I can use my phone, which will allow me to be much more mobile. It's a nut. Cashew nuts are a nut, not a bean. So thank you, Rosemary, for your question, and I hope that helps. It's a nut, not a bean, so it should be easy to digest. Let me know if you're having any issues with it. And thank you for joining me. I hope everybody has a great night. Include a wide variety of foods in your diet. That will give you moderation.
Rosemary says, awesome as usual. Thank you.
Oh, Rosemary, you're awesome. And I so appreciate you being here. So thank you, everybody, for joining me. Also, thank you, because I had started getting ready at 6:30. I had a timer going. I'm not sure exactly what happened. So thank you for staying with me. I know it didn't start for a few minutes later. So I appreciate, as always, you staying with me. I look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks again on a live stream. Something you want me to cover, make sure to let me know by writing it in the comments section. And as always, tell everybody you've ever met to please subscribe to the channel so I can get to that 1,000 quickly, which will make this a little easier for me. But I'm happy to be here with you, and have a good night, everybody. Take care.